Hello everyone, welcome back. We are starting things off in Lakeshire today. I'm not sure exactly what we're going to do, but it's probably going to involve fighting lots of wildlife to start things off. Welcome guys, thanks for being here. I think I'm going to make my way just down into Duskwood. I do want to keep pushing the quest there, the level 20 and level 21 quest especially. And by doing that, we should actually hit level 23. I hope you guys are doing well this morning. Jason asked if I'd consider doing one hardcore stream and one Wrath stream per day. Jason, I would consider that during a time when I'm actually more interested in Wrath. I could make myself play it, don't get me wrong. It's easy to play any version of World of Warcraft. But right now, I bounce off of it. I don't really get into it when I play Wrath right now. And so that could change, you know, it could just be a thing that's going on with me right now. But I don't want to get on there and play when I'm not really digging it. I logged into play the other day and I got on to the Shaman, got into Stranglethorn, and I don't know, I did a /who. There were 5 people playing in the zone and it just kind of took the steam out of me. I'm not exactly sure why, but... And like I said, I could make myself play it, but if I'm not actually super enjoying it, I don't really feel like it's the right thing to do that. What I've thought about for Wrath is, honestly, I've thought about getting on the Tauren Warrior and just seeing the questing in Northrend, because ultimately that's one of the few things that I still care about in Wrath of the Lich King, is that I would like to read the Horde side questing, because I never have. And that's really when I think about what do I care about in Wrath of the Lich King, what content do I care about, it would just be that right now. That's really it. I'd like to see those stories. Yeah, I would definitely consider playing some of the Tauren Warrior. I'll think about it a little bit more. I don't know if that's something that I'll do today, but maybe tomorrow. You know, and I remember the last time that I was on the Warrior trying to play it, the biggest thing that bothered me was that we couldn't get into any 5-man groups. It turns out that nobody wants to manually invite a DPS Warrior. You know, the queue would put me in a group. If they were the looking for dungeon tool, I could queue up as a DPS of whatever class I want, and I could get a group within 12 to 15 minutes, I'm sure. But when people are having to manually assemble groups, and we've seen that people don't even want to be putting the groups together. But when they're doing it that way, you know, you exclude classes. So if you're a warrior tank, or even if you're any plate-wearing tank, you're gonna look over that DPS warrior, and you're gonna grab a mage or a rogue or a druid or somebody else who doesn't share your weapons and your armor class. But the looking for dungeon tool doesn't care. Doesn't care what class you are, it just cares the role that you selected. And so that would be more enjoyable to me, to be able to actually do the dungeons as we level up and get some gear and all that good stuff. But that probably won't happen until LFD is in the game, which isn't going to happen anytime soon, unfortunately. Good morning, guys. Thank you for being here. I appreciate you guys all showing up so early. I wish we could say that it was strange of them, JC, but it's not even that it's strange. It's very typical of them to do stuff like that. Because what they said was that they said that we think that not having the looking for dungeon tool is going to be better for the community. That's what Blizzard decided. Blizzard decided that they thought they knew what was going to be better for the community, because they know so much about their community. Yeah. And then since they said it and the way they phrased it, they just have to now like shamelessly stick to their guns while being blatantly wrong about what people want. To a point where like they were willing to put the WoW token in the game and risk that backlash, but haven't even talked about LFD. They won't even talk about it. Because they'd have to acknowledge the fact that people want it, and to acknowledge the fact that people want it, they'd have to acknowledge that something they said in the past was wrong. And they have a hard time doing that for some reason. What are my plans for D4? I think I'm going to play a little bit more this evening. My ultimate plans for D4 are primarily just to see the story campaign play out. I don't have any plans to do endgame stuff in D4. I don't have any plans to even open the battle pass. So, you know, the content for me in D4 is the story, which seems like it's going to be really freaking good. Yeah, Shane, absolutely. The reason you don't understand the argument about why LFD ruined the social aspect of the game is because it didn't. There's no real argument to make. It's just bullshit that some people say. Yeah, people like to blame the problems with the community on like an easily identifiable thing that takes the responsibility out of the hands of the people who are part of the community. If a community sucks or is a cesspool, it's because the people are bad, or they're acting badly. It's not because of a tool or a function or a feature that's in the game. And part of a community responds to how they are treated and interacted with by the creators. And I think we can agree that Blizzard has not often been really on the same page as its players. And so that's what creates the community, is that interaction and that relationship between the people enjoying the game and the people who make it. What the looking for dungeon tool does is it adds a layer of convenience to the game. It doesn't stop people from talking to each other at all, unfortunately, and that's one of the arguments is, oh, LFD, people don't have to talk anymore. No, they still talk. Sometimes you wish they wouldn't. Sometimes you get into a group of people, and you're like, man, I wish people didn't talk, because of some of the stuff that they're saying. But no, it didn't change anything. It just made it easier to get groups, and that's it. But it's nice to have a scapegoat for stuff. LFD sucks if you're not getting invited. It's a metagame issue. Well, that's part of that. That's part of what LFD alleviates. Is you're absolutely right. There's always going to be a meta. There's always going to be classes that are better and worse at DPS, and given the opportunity, people will choose those classes, which they should be able to do for content that's really challenging. Like when you're putting a raid together, definitely go with the meta. Whatever floats your boat. But people wanting to go with the meta and there being a meta shouldn't stop classes and specs from getting into a group, and the dungeon tool makes sure that that doesn't happen. So it's only a good thing. It's only a good thing for 90% of people. And the people who say it's not a good thing, usually your reasons are wrong or arbitrary. And you're allowed to have your opinion about it. You're allowed to hate it. Don't get me wrong. You're allowed to say you hate it. It's the worst. You're allowed to have those opinions. You're just not allowed for your opinion to be fact. That's all. Pierre, good morning, man. Thanks for being here. Just some LFD talk. Good way to start the morning. Get a little blood pressure rise out of some people. JC, exactly. Here's the thing about LFD. LFD puts you into groups with humans who play this game. Just like when you find a group in the looking for group tool now. You are getting grouped with humans who play this game. And because you're interacting with humans, your experiences are going to be different every time. And those experiences, whether they're good or negative, are going to rely on what kinds of humans you're playing with. And they're going to rely, surprisingly, on what kind of human you are. And you're going to have good and bad interactions with people in LFD, just like you're going to have good and bad interactions with people who find you in the current tool. Just like you're going to have good and bad interactions with people out on the street. Just like, do you see a trend here about, it kind of just depends on the people. And it's the same pool of people, regardless of how you're getting grouped together with them. Exchanging a couple words with somebody, saying, hey, heroic VH, that's not going to make people behave better once we're in the run. That little bit of communication that it takes to put that group together manually, that's not making the community better. Someone saying heroic VH ? And me saying yep, that's not going to make the community better. That's not going to assure we're going to have a pleasant interaction in the run. That's not going to assure that that person's not a psychopath. It just means that they had to message me a couple of words to put the run together, and then they had to do some clicks. And that level of interaction is never going to improve a social situation. It just isn't. Does that make sense? People are like, it ruined the community because we didn't have to communicate anymore. What do you mean? No one communicates anything. They send me a couple of letters, or maybe sometimes just the later it gets, the worse it gets. Sometimes it's just a question mark. And you don't know what you're getting into. And then you get invited to a group, and no one in the group knows what they want to do. What a good interaction that is. That confusion is really good for the community. It's really good to get into a group of people who now they have to talk to each other, and they don't know how to agree on doing any specific thing. Because apparently choices are hard for some people, and that's fine. The LFD tool alleviates all those problems. Morning, Dolores. Thanks for being here. Yeah, unless you play with friends, Pierre says the average interactions with players is 2 to 3 sentences. That's absolutely right. Yeah. And so the lack of those 2 to 3 sentences is not going to, quote, ruin the community forever. And it's preposterous to think that it could or that it did. People ruin communities. The actual people and how they choose to interact with each other. Forcing someone to say a couple more words to their neighbor isn't going to make them more neighborly. It could just piss them off. People could get agitated that they have to talk to people, and that could actually create a worse interaction, because a lot of us are antisocial, and a lot of us, that's kind of why we like playing video games. We don't necessarily want to have a full-blown conversation with somebody just to do a piece of content that we like. And like, I don't know, like, so the idea originally was that it was anonymity. They're like, well, you don't know who these people are. They're people from another server. Okay, I don't know who anybody is. They're all just people out in the world sitting in their homes playing the same video game that I love. That's what I know about them. And that fact is still the same, and that fact is the one fact that brings us together. I have always felt in dungeons that like there will be some people that like to talk, there will be some people that will explain things, there will be some people that chuckle a little bit and interact with each other. Usually, you know, there's always a little bit of communication when you get into a group, regardless of how you got into that group. And yeah, sometimes the interactions are positive, sometimes they're negative, a lot of times they're just in between. I do honestly feel like that over time, as the community has aged, people have gotten kinder and more patient. Or they have made themselves appear to be so. Whereas, sure, like if we're talking 10 or 15 years ago, well, a lot of us were younger then, and a lot of us were more immature then, and maybe the community just kind of sucked because maybe we kind of sucked a little bit, I don't know. I think there are always people who have attributes and ways that they interact with other people that are just undesirable to have in a group. You know, those people exist without LFD, they exist in LFD, they exist in guilds. Just like they exist at workplaces and schools, you know, you always have those people who you're like, man, I just wish I didn't have to be near this person because of the stuff they're going to say or what they're going to do today. Pierre says, I don't even know a tenth of the people in my engineering school. You can't expect us to know others from the same server. Yeah, we don't. Exactly. It wasn't like a neighborhood. We didn't all know everyone on our server. There wasn't that level of accountability for 90% of players. Obviously, if you were like a really high top-end player, you know, you're the person standing around with Thunder Fury or something, then like people, maybe they know who you are to look at your name. But that was not 90% of people's experience. It was anonymous. You're talking about a server back then with like 3,000 to 5,000 other people on it. You're never going to know even a small fraction of them. So the idea that communities were closer knit when it was just the realm is kind of preposterous, especially the way in which the WoW community is. Like, think about all the places the WoW community interacts with each other that isn't in the game. Especially now with stuff like Discord communities and things like that, creator communities. Being on the same realm, I mean, that's not going to engender any more closeness or social responsibility. It's cute to think that it would, you know. It just doesn't. Think about the street you live on or the apartment building you're in. How many of those people do you know? If you got to know every single one of them, do you think that you'd feel better about where you live, or do you think you just kind of have the same general impression? Here's the thing when you say that, Auntie, you say that back in the day the community was closer knit. Listen, man, I played back in the day. I was close knit with my friends who I played with in real life and the people that I played with in my guild. I didn't feel any of what you're saying, so everyone's different, right? Maybe you played with more people, maybe you spent more time hanging out in Orgrimmar in general chat, but the point of that is like how you feel about a community has to do with your engagement in the community. It has nothing to do with tools that allow people to group up and do content. How you feel about your server and the WoW community, it has to do with how you interact with it, and then also the things that you experience from other people and how you parse that stuff. So you played in vanilla and you thought it was super tight-knit. I played in vanilla and I didn't really care. I didn't think about if it was tight-knit or not, or if I recognized somebody standing in org. I played with my friends, and that was it. And then when they introduced the looking for dungeon tool, I was happy that I could get groups when we were missing people and needed to fill. And a lot of the times I was still playing with my friends. There'd be 3 of us who'd jump into the queue. We would need to fill a couple of spots, and the LFD tool helped us do that really, really quickly. And then the people that got into our groups were happy because they were queuing solo. They really wanted to just do content, and now they got into a group with 3 people who know what they're doing. So, yeah. I mean, having an experience and saying, well, the community was tighter knit back in the day, it's probably because of the way you were engaging with it back in the day. And it probably didn't have anything to do with the community as a whole. It was probably just a feeling. If you wanted to feel super tight-knit with your realm today or in the game today, you probably do that in other ways now, on Discord or in your guild. Maybe that was the difference. Maybe it's the fact that, like, you know, places like Discord didn't exist, and there weren't as many creator communities for people to kind of have that sense of community. So maybe that was what engendered that sense of more community back in the day. But it probably wasn't that people were better humans, because throughout history, humans have been pretty consistently human. Yeah. A tool being put into a game, guys, a function being put into a game, isn't going to make people better or worse. That's really my only point. Regardless of how the communities have felt over time, there could be endless reasons for why a community would feel close-knit or would feel far apart, and none of them have to do with a convenience tool that helps people do instanced content. Taxiarchus says, the core essence of communication and civilization and joy of community is that someone knows, someone else doesn't know, and the person who knows shares the knowledge with the person who asks kindly. Yeah, and I feel like we still have that with the LFD tool, because you get into groups, some people are new, they don't really know what they're doing, and for the most part, people who do know what they're doing are typically kind and willing to show people content and explain boss fights. Anytime that I've admitted in LFD that I don't know a run, I don't know this or that, I've never had anybody respond super negatively. Because typically, especially when you empower other people to teach you, people want to teach. It's like an inherent part of being a human being, is like you inherently want to help other humans, whether you know it or not. Oh, we're not going to fight that. We went the wrong way. You want to help other humans whether you know it or not, so given the opportunity, being in a position of that knowledge, 95% of people will choose to be kind and share their knowledge and experience with another person. And that's going to be true in a group in LFD, it's going to be true in a group in the current looking for group system. Like, when I open looking for group, I don't know those people, I don't feel tight-knit, I feel like they're WoW players, and that, you know, odds are I'm going to get into an okay run if I ever find a group. The looking for dungeon tool makes sure that, like, you will find a group, and 90% of the time your run will be absolutely fine and you will play with decent human beings. You might even make a friend. And you know, Blizzard is full of smart people with different perspectives and different opinions, and they have to know these basic things. They have to have had these conversations, so. And at this point, yeah, keeping it out of the game is just kind of a stubbornness thing, which is one of their bad habits that they've had as an organization that has just stuck really hard to them over time. Is just the inability to say, you know, we made this choice and we had these reasons, but we reflected on the reasons and we listened to the community, and we've realized now that those reasons don't stand anymore. And so we're going to change our choice. And they're just really bad at doing that. Auntie, you did start to recognize opposing players. You did. You can't talk for everybody like that. You can't talk in the you when I'm sitting here literally telling you that I didn't. I'm telling you that I played then, and I didn't have the experience that you had. Does that make sense? So you can't just unilaterally say, back in the day, you, being every WoW player, did this or felt this. Because that's really awesome that you had that experience, brother, but I didn't, and a lot of people didn't. And it's okay to have an opinion based on your experience, but it's not okay to say, I have this opinion based on my experience, and my opinion is the right one. Because it's an opinion, man. It's an experience that you had. And here's the other thing, and let's just make this perfectly clear. Because a tool exists doesn't mean you have to use it. There's lots of tools that exist. I don't use all of them. Just so if you truly think that finding groups the old-fashioned way and whispering somebody Violet Hold H ? Makes the community better and makes your experience better, then you can do that. And you still should. What I want to do is I want to pop myself into a queue. I want to keep playing the game, and then I want to be put into a group of people who like playing World of Warcraft. And shockingly, that's what the LFD tool is going to do. It's going to put me into a functioning group. It's going to give that group a purpose if we've queued on random. We're going to know where we're going. We're not going to have to sit there and decide that. That's cool, because, you know, my time is valuable to me. And we're still going to be able to have great interactions in the run if we want to. If we want to talk to each other, we're still going to be able to do that. It's not going to stop positive interactions from happening. Just like looking for a group the old-fashioned way doesn't stop negative interactions from sometimes happening. Auntie, that's possible, man, and if that's the case, I'm sorry. I just want to be careful with how we phrase things, just because when you say things like, you did this, you did that, it retroactively you're applying that to everybody, whereas you really just want to say, I had this experience, I felt this way. And that's normal. Most people just talk like that. We have a habit of when we talk and we're explaining ourselves, we say you. But what we really mean is us, me. And so it's just important to convey that distinction when you're expressing things that you've experienced or things that you've felt. Otherwise, the wording is kind of like, you know, making it seem like, well, everybody had that experience, which isn't true. Anyway, as much as I could talk about the Looking for Dungeon tool and how communities form for the next 6 hours, I am not going to. I'm going to focus up a little bit and maybe not get killed to these spiders. There was probably way too many thoughts delivered way too rapidly, but yeah. I do need to drink some coffee. Maybe that will make me quiet down a bit. Yeah, these guys are not dropping a lot of flanks. That's true. I didn't really notice that. 3 out of 10. I wonder if different types of wolves have a greater chance of dropping the item. Tim, good morning, man. Thanks for being here. So confirmed, Blessing of Freedom will get us out of traps that we're currently stuck in. And we don't have to do it preemptorily. We can do it while we're actually trapped and it'll get us out. Logan, I'm glad you're enjoying the streams, man. I'm really enjoying them too. Very, very much so. We don't have any water. We don't have any melon juice. And actually, can we get the next rank? No, 25 we can. I'm gonna kind of make my way back to town. I feel like we need to restock and empty our bags. We do have some kind of quest we can turn in. We've been completing objectives. Surprisingly, we have quests to turn in. I know it's hard to believe with as little questing as we've actually been doing, but it's true. Yeah, you think maybe Blessing of Wisdom? Yeah, with the mana that would help, but you know, I spec'd into Blessing of Might. So I do need to keep a Blessing up just in general. Keeping a Blessing up is something that I need to focus on doing, but yeah, we spec'd into Blessing of Might, so I feel like I have to use that now that I did that. Fox Ayo, thank you for being here. Taxiarchus, we did change the subject. Your opinion's totally valid, man. The things that you say are not wrong, but that's the thing, is like it's all opinion. There are only a couple of facts we can point to, and so the facts I point to just it's easier for players to do content, and that's a good thing. And that's really like the most basic fact I can boil it down to. For some people, they're not going to like some aspects of it. People have very strong opinions about it. Ultimately, it helps the average player find more groups. And when you're getting into more groups, guys, you're interacting with more people who love the game. And how could that not be good for the community? So I have a choice. I can get on my Paladin and I can do one run a day because I just can't stand the waiting, the looking, the confusion about where to go. Or I can get on and I can do 5 runs. If I do 5 runs, the chances of me making a friend, the chances of me finding cool people and having a great time dramatically increases over doing 1 run and standing around and dollar around the rest of the time. More content is better for players. Even if there are some things we don't like about it, even if there are some negative externalities, giving people the ability to do more content with each other is just a positive thing. I hope that makes sense. That's just kind of how I see it. It does. I see in guild chat here somebody says it seems like people went to Diablo 4 doing a /who only shows 17 people. I think that it's true that a lot of people are definitely playing D4 today because, you know, it's launch week, so that's going to happen. Mick, I am live. I didn't do this before 2 days ago. I think it was 2 days ago. It seems like the same day. Yeah, I started streaming 2 days ago, almost accidentally. I was just testing some things out in OBS, basically thinking about doing streams for the official hardcore when that opens up. But then some of you guys popped in and we had a great time, so I just kept coming back for more. Because it's been a lot of fun. And so that's what we've been doing for the past couple days.
King's honor, friend. Light bless you. Be careful. Greetings. Go with honor, friend.
Need help? Light bless you.
Yeah, and I think people will come back from Diablo. You know, people will play a bunch of Diablo, and even if they really like it, the amount at which they play will probably peter off over time.
See you around.
And folks will come back, as they do. JC, I'm glad that you're enjoying the streams. Thank you for being here.
How are you?
I look forward to them too. It's, you know, I liked doing the recordings a lot, but looking forward to a stream feels very different.
Safe travel.
Because I look forward to getting to interact with you guys.
Well met.
Dextrin Ward, that's an instance quest for the stockades, right?
Go with honor, friend.
I wouldn't mind doing stockades. Stockades is relatively safe. There are a couple rooms where runners can pull. They can run into those different rooms at the end room, and they can pull from there. Those rooms could be dangerous. Turktian, yeah, that's what I plan to just play through the campaign. I don't really plan to engage with the endgame stuff. So, there's that. Oh, my puppy wants to come up into my lap. Let's see if he really wants to sleep or if he wants to try to play. Oh, okay. There you go, buddy. Yeah, if you hear any meowing or strange noises, it's definitely the dog and not me. Promise. Steven, it's very unlikely that I'll do any endgame in Diablo. The only way I would do endgame is if I'm just having a blast pressing my buttons. If the gameplay is just so much fun that I have to keep playing the game, and if it just really pulls me in, then I wouldn't mind doing endgame stuff. But I don't care about gear progression. I don't care about renown paths. I don't care about the battle pass. These are all endgame systems, and there are things that I just don't give a crap about. I have no interest in pushing bars from the left to the right infinitely.
Be careful.
I don't care about cosmetics. I don't even really care how my character looks in a game where people can buy the coolest shit off of a cash shop. Because I'm the kind of person that I want my gear to look like what my gear looks like, and I just want that to be a display of the achievements I've made in the game. So why would I care about grinding up badass gear for content that's eventually going to be outdated when someone who wants to look really cool just goes and plops down some money to look really cool? Takes away like half of the impetus for grinding gear, is like having the gear that looks awesome because you worked your ass off to get it. In a situation where people are buying the best shit on the store, that doesn't exist anymore. So the only motivation is character power, and I don't really care about my character power in an ARPG. I'm trying to enjoy the parts of D4 that I can enjoy without brushing up against the parts that I find heinous. Shit like battle passes and cosmetic shops. I don't like in-game shops. And I don't like battle passes. I don't like paid battle passes. Really drive me mad. So yeah, I'm trying not to brush up against any of those parts of the game. I can't go this way. We need to find a safe way out of town. I'm trying not to brush up against those parts of the game because those are the parts of the game that are going to make me not want to play the game. And I feel like endgame is going to be rife with ways to brush up against those systems. And so I have no interest in endgame right now. Alright, moment of truth here. Is there anything in this zone that we should be working on right now? I mean, I feel like everything is orange. We keep running into orange mobs. We keep getting kicked around by stuff. I wonder if we just need to go... Maybe we run over here, we return to Jitters. Let's try that. I don't even know if we can come get the ghost thread from Blind Mary. Let's go turn in the quest to Jitters, and then we'll think about what we're going to do next. Mogarman says, I miss when you used to have to work to get unique gear instead of paying for it. Yeah, that's the thing. I don't want to be able to pay for how my character looks. I just want to earn the stuff in the game that looks awesome. And that's it. That's all I want. I just want the stuff to be in the game. You know what I mean? There are entire aspects of the paid progression in Diablo that I don't understand, that I won't, like buying tier skips. And it just kind of drives me nuts. Wetlands or Ashenvale? Yeah, we might have some lower level stuff we can do in the wetlands. I shouldn't be running on this road blindly because I'm going to run right into Stitches, aren't I? It's gonna be a little bit of a run to get to Ashenvale. I mean, I have to go either way. I have to start by going to Menethil Harbor. So maybe I would check some things out around that area first, and then we can get on a boat eventually and jump that over to Darkshore and then check out Ashenvale. I'm not familiar with Ashenvale on the Alliance at all. Yeah, I think being here at like level 25 would be ideal. And then we could really get into more of the questing and not have to avoid so much of it and avoid so many different mobs and deal with all the orange mobs. Ashenvale would be a good change of scenery, that's true.
King's honor, friend.
Steven asks, what's my secret for staying alive? Excuse me, I always die around 18 to 20. Yeah, we typically die around that range too. The trick to me staying alive is that I've been really, really lucky. And right now we're on a Paladin, so I have all these amazing buttons just that get me out of trouble. And then they keep me out of trouble for long enough for us to live. So right now, it's the class keeping me alive. Best practices. My best practice for staying alive is to run away. If there is any doubt, there is no doubt. You must run away. It's too dangerous. And so running early, deciding to run early is how you live. There's no time for like deliberation or being wishy-washy. If something is not going your way, you have to just run away. Jason, you're right about the terrain. There are lots of like little mountainous things that you think you should be able to cut across, but you're kind of just cordoned into specific areas and specific paths. I do remember that from Ashenvale. Just like trying to get to a place and realizing I was going to have to go all the way around because of all the little mountainous sections. Is Us says I should try a warrior. We did try a warrior. We got her killed at level 19, 20. It was a gnome warrior, and we died to Defias pillagers over in Westfall. Whitney, good morning. Yeah, I mean, if you were trying to be on time, you were late, but it's a stream. You can come whenever you want. You're not late. You're right on time, because this is when you got here. And we're still alive, so there's that too. No boats in Stormwind. Not in Classic Era. I wish there was more transport. I would love to see a boat from Stormwind over to Darkshore. That would make it super easy for Night Elf characters to, you know, actually quest in the other lands.
Good day to you.
And not have to risk the biscuit on a run at level 1 or a swim.
See you around.
I think the swim is still dangerous. Aren't there murlocs at some point? And then people say you get down to Westfall, but I'm thinking if I'm a level 1 Night Elf and I beach up in Westfall, there's all kinds of stuff that's going to kill me still. It sounds just as bad as the wetlands run. So maybe there's a safe place that you can wash ashore in Westfall that where you're not going to aggro any mobs. Let's see, we hit 23. That's pretty awesome. And we're going into more Divine Strength. Oh lord, there's a spider on my monitor, and it's looking at me. And it's big enough and fuzzy enough that I can see its facial features and its little mandible things. And I'm trying not to like react or do anything, but it's the fuzziest little spider I've seen in my basement office here, and it's terrifying. Oh god, it's moving. Okay, it's fine. Let's just be chill. It's walking right across the top of my monitor. Like a squirrel going across a telephone line. And I don't like it. Usually I'm pretty inured to spiders in real life, but this one is furry, and I'm trying to figure out why. We don't have lots of furry spiders in Michigan, because we don't have tarantulas. Oh, where are you gonna go when you get to the edge of that monitor, buddy? Oh god, he's walking sideways. Do they do that? My heart is pounding. This guy's creeping me out. Somehow we didn't run into Stitches. Give it to the puppy? Oh man, it looks like he would fight the puppy. It's not huge, like it's only about the size of a quarter, but the fact that it's fuzzy is disturbing me. It's true Duskwood ambience. Oh god, I wish it wasn't though. I'm gonna have to do something about this, I think. I'm gonna have to get him outside. I might need to take a minute here to deal with this, as weird as that is. I feel like, you know, will anyone even believe me? Here, let's see, maybe I can do this. And maybe I can show you guys this guy. Oh, where'd he go? You don't see him, do you? Oh, he's not there. Yeah, I don't know where he went now that I did that. I lost sight of him. Oh god. Okay, guys, I have to deal with this. I have to deal with this really quick. My apologies. Alright, yeah, I think it's taken care of. I tried to get him outside, I tried to capture him with like a napkin and move him outside, but he scurried off. Web slung down, and I think he ran away to a dark corner or something, but... yeah, let me settle back in here, and we'll just pretend like this never happened. What's up, Alex? There was a giant furry spider that walked its way across the top of one of my monitors, and I tried to deal with it by getting it outside, and then he's on the floor somewhere now, so... yeah. But yeah, I think we're fine now. He may or may not come back, but... how big was he? You know, it wasn't the size, it was that he was furry. He was only about the size of a quarter with his leg span, which isn't that big, and typically I don't mind bugs, but I could see his fur, and the weirdest thing was he walked sideways, so like his face seemed to be looking at me, and I can make out his mandibles and stuff. And he walked sideways while looking at me, which is a crab-like thing to do, and that really got to me. So, yeah. Face reveal, and it wasn't even 100k subs. Yeah, I don't mind showing my face. I think it's super distracting for people who want to get like kind of more immersed in the game and stuff. And my background is just like, you know, not the best background, but it is what it is. Alright, I ran here. Did I have an objective? I guess I could, oh, we could do that. No, we can't do that. Or can we do this? It's red. It says red, but that spawns an enemy, doesn't it? When we grab the book or whatever it is here, it spawns some kind of spirit, doesn't it? Alright, let's get ourselves to a flight point, and I will get us to Stormwind, I guess. And then we can get ourselves to Menethil. I mean, I could jump on a really long flight, but that would be a long flight. How long would the flight be? Would it be like 5 or 6 minutes? JC, it is like that because he went to the floor, and so, like, you know, at any moment he could just crawl up my leg or something. I'm not really comfortable with it. I'm not going to continue to search him out because I'm not going to give in. I'm not going to give in to that impulse. I'm going to pretend like everything is fine and like he can't possibly harm me. So, that's what we're doing. Whitney asks, how do I deal with headaches? Yeah, I get migraines, so dealing with headaches for me means ice. I put ice on my head, and I put ice on the back of my neck. They also make these, like, kind of like ski mask type things that can go in the freezer, and they're full of, like, gel, so it gets the whole mask really, really cold. And I don't own one, but I've seen them, and they seem like they would be really, really useful to just kind of cool. Like, ice just really helps for headaches. And so, like a face mask that can go in the freezer that you can just kind of slip on over the top of your head, like, that would probably work really well. But I don't know if the headaches I get are normal headaches, because I'm pretty sure they're migraines. But ice on the head definitely helps.
See ya.
Sometimes if it's really, really bad, I have to do ice on my head, and then I do a heating pad on my neck. And then I drink a bunch of water, and then I pass out. The other thing that helps headaches is if you can catch them early. And some people get headaches that come on really, really quick. I can always feel mine coming on, although sometimes I will lie to myself and tell myself that it's going to be fine. But yeah, catching them early and just, like, as soon as you feel that headache, popping some ibuprofen. Bruce Hassan asked if the server is popular at the moment. We're on the Bloodsail Buccaneer server here doing the hardcore challenge, and yeah, it's incredibly popular right now. Now that being said, today, this exact day, a lot of people are playing Diablo 4. So it's a little less populated today, but yeah, it's the place to be right now in WoW, and it's the thing to do. This is my 28th hardcore tune, Bruce. No, we've gotten every class killed once, I think. I think we've gotten every class killed once, and this is our second time on the Paladin. So, what is that? Is that 9? Is that 9 characters? Tallyrock, sorry to hear that, man. Yeah, you know, I haven't had a complete scan like that, but here's the thing. I've been having migraines since I was a kid too, and I'm gonna be 40 this year. So brother, if they find a tumor in my brain, it's not gonna be small anymore. So I'm probably gonna have to leave that sucker where it's at. The reason I don't think that's what it is, because it seems often that I get migraines related to like weather changes. So if it's gonna get cold, or it's gonna warm up, or a front's coming through, I will often get a massive migraine. And so I feel like it's probably just something different. At least, you know, it could be anything, I guess, but... We are going over to the tram. If I don't tell myself what we're doing right now, I'll just get hopelessly distracted. We'll be running circles. January. I was born in January. So yeah, my 40th is coming up soon. Soon. It doesn't feel soon, but it will feel soon. It's gonna fly by. Yeah, Taxiarchus, when I get a migraine, it starts behind my eyes and then it just kind of spreads to every part of my face and neck. If I let it get that far. Like, yeah, the trick really is for me just kind of stopping it as early as I can. Just not letting it... The worst is when, you know, I get a migraine overnight and I just wake up with it. And then there's really nothing I can do. Yeah, overall, man, migraines are the worst. It's weird, it gets to a point where you say about the fluid building up, and that's funny, because what I often feel when it gets really bad, I imagine just sticking like a needle into my spine and letting it hiss out pressure. That's what I imagine. I imagine, oh man, if I could just, like a balloon, if I could just pop it and let the pressure come out, I'd feel so much better. So that makes sense. That it's literal. I guess I wouldn't want to relieve the fluid of my spine, though. That would be a bad idea, but that's what it feels like would feel good, you know? It feels like if I could just release that pressure, all the pain would go away. Mogar, man, that sounds really bad. I get sensitive to light, but I don't lose any kind of functionality. I just get super sensitive to light, so usually when the migraine gets super bad, I'm just in bed at that point. Except for the ones I wake up with. As I've gotten older, I've gotten better at recognizing what it feels like when the migraine's starting to come on. I can usually medicate a bit and avoid the worst of it. JC, that's awesome. I appreciate you being here. You know, whenever you need to pop out is absolutely fine. I don't know how long I'm going to be on this morning, but I do plan to do some streaming in the afternoon as well. And I think I'm going to be on in the evening for Diablo. I think I want to do that. I think so. Yeah, there was a point in time, JC, about 2 years ago when I went onto the YouTube and I watched like every drama time that had ever been created up until that point. It was a lot of fun.
Safe trap.
I've never seen Drama Time live though. I always just watch the VODs on YouTube. I just binge them for weeks and weeks. I eventually burned myself out on it, but I think I had finished almost every episode that was done up until that point. Mick asked, "Hey young man, how is it you have so much time to play?" Mick, it's because I am really lucky and I have a blessed life, and I'm able to do this now. This is the thing that I do, and this is the thing that for me ticks the box of being meaningful work. And yeah, I'm really lucky. I have an amazing partner who has an awesome job that she loves, and she's willing to tolerate me doing this and pursuing the thing that I love. Vessi asked if streaming is breaking the immersion for me. No. Because I get into the character and I'm attached to the character, and for me that's the immersion. Does it break the immersion? Is it possible for me to be immersed while talking with you guys? Yeah, I'm immersed in what we're doing together, I guess. I think it's a different kind of immersion. Because when I'm playing alone, yeah, I can pay a little bit more attention to the world and stuff like that. But honestly, being able to hang out with you guys is so much better than whatever more immersion I could get by playing alone, you know what I mean? And let's put it this way, man, I've had thousands and thousands of hours to play the game completely in solitude, essentially.
What can I do for you?
The Murloc quest is level 22. We are going to run out of room in the quest log as well. Let's abandon some of the stuff in Duskwood. We'll just pick it back up whenever we're ready to head back that way.
Greetings. Light bless you.
Hey there. Be careful. You need something? See you around.
How are ya?
Let's go ahead and we will make this our home for now. Let's
Watch
set
your
the
back.
hearthstone here. And let's see. So yeah, these are level 21. We have some 21 stuff we could do. You'd think we would be able to do that at level 23. Like, it shouldn't be a problem, right? Crocolus skins. Let's start with the Crocolus skins and the Murlocs, and we'll just kind of feel it out and see how it goes. Fiora Long Ears at the docks. That must be a breadcrumb that takes us somewhere else. And digging through the ooze. We'll grab that one. How do I pronounce the word vitamin? I guess the way that I just did. Vitamin. Is there a different way to pronounce the word vitamin? Have I been missing out on something my whole life?
How are ya? Be good.
I guess is the difference I could say vite or vit? I've always pronounced it vite, vitamin. Vitamin, that just sounds really weird. And I think that asking me how I pronounce the word vitamin now qualifies as the strangest thing I've been asked on stream.
Great to meet you. Off with you.
I didn't know there were so many different ways to pronounce it. I didn't know it was like a tomato type word. Okay, so we're fighting Murlocs. What do we need to know? We need to know that they're probably going to run away. We need to know that they're probably going to run away super fast. We also need to know that there's a named one out here. We need Gobbler. We need Gobbler. Let's see. /target gob. We will go ahead and copy that. And we'll tap that every once in a while to see if we find him. Tactical Warrior Viking, to this very moment, I don't know which way you guys want me to say it, Hearthstone or Hearthstone. I don't know. I still can't remember which one's the right one. I think it's Hearth, right? Hearthstone? But Hearth sounds better. I don't know why. They're both hard for me to say. So I don't like pronouncing it either way, to be honest. Something about the word doesn't fit properly in my mouth for some reason. He's here somewhere. We have him targeted. I don't see him. Excuse me. Oh gosh. I don't see him with my eyeballs. I see him targeted, and I don't see where he's actually at. He can't be behind us. We can only target if he's in front of our field of view, right? He's close. How do I like Diablo 4 so far? I think that the game is really pretty. I think that the game has amazing voice acting, and I feel like the story has been decent so far. Oh, put a marker on him. Yeah, that's incredibly smart. Oh my god, thank you. So many of my problems in life could be fixed with that little bit of advice. I've often been able to target mobs, and I never remember that I can put a marker on them. That was super clutch. Thank you so much for that. That's advice that's going to help me far into the future now that I've got it in my brain to do that. By drink orange juice, you mean drink more coffee, right? That's what you actually meant? Because that's what I'm going to do. Coffee and water, my man. Coffee and water. Auntie says this has the high probability of getting me killed, talking to chat while standing around a bunch of murlocs. You were absolutely, unequivocally correct. It could get me killed. This is a safe little area right here, though. We should try to stay maybe on the perimeter of where the murlocs are. We don't want to get surrounded. That's absolutely true. Thankfully, these guys are level 20, so having a few levels here is going to help us out, I think. Turktine, I haven't read any of the Diablo fiction. The little bit I know about Diablo lore, I mostly remember from Diablo 3. And I don't really remember a lot of the lore. I should probably read a wiki or something. Does Blizzard have like you know how Warcraft has chronicles? Does Blizzard have like a cool lore book like that for the Diablo universe? Because I'm always down to read like a solid lore book. Before they retconned everything in WoW, Chronicles was like, you know, much my favorite to pick it up and read it from time to time. Just pick a section and relearn stuff I already know about the world. And then after they retconned everything in Shadowlands, I've lost all interest in reading the Chronicles. They just sit on my shelf now. They're actually on the shelf here behind me to my left. Just sitting there looking pretty. JC, see you later. Enjoy that. Have fun over in Drama Time. And have a good rest of your day. Yeah, see what you say about how Lilith created Sanctuary. That's the stuff I need to understand more. I don't know anything about that. And so I need to know more about it, I think. I'm sure they're going to tell the story in a way that it can be consumed and enjoyed, obviously, even by people who don't know the lore, but I do feel like knowing a little bit of the lore is going to help clue me in on some potential ways that the story could go. Because right now I'm thinking Lilith probably isn't the big bad. Because I don't get that vibe from her, even though, you know, she's obviously murdery, right? But being a little murdery doesn't mean you're the big bad of the game. So I'm really interested in what her motivations are and what her place has been like in the mythos so far. I picked up a chess piece. Let's see. We picked up a leather chess piece with stamina and spirit. We picked up some mail gloves with 4 strength and 1 agility. The agility might serve us a little bit better than the spirit. We'll just equip them. And we have a 2-handed axe that has a lot more DPS. It has agility and spirit, which we don't need. I wonder if that's... See, power is 179 with the axe. The sword is better. Yeah, having the stats on the sword is better. Alex, I kind of know what you mean, man. Diablo is super dark, especially this one. There's like, it's just graphic violence. So much of the story has been just portrayals of just the most graphic violence you could think about. Yeah, it's definitely a very, very dark vibe. I wondered to myself if it's too dark for me, but you know, Walking Dead was one of my favorite series, and that was super dark a lot of the time. So I feel like I'm inured to a lot of that stuff. Sometimes it being dark like that can make for like a really compelling story and an immersive world and characters. Other times for people it can just be too much. And I definitely get that. Where are all the crocolisk? What I worry about in Diablo 4, like we talk about it being dark, like thematically, I worry kind of about how dark it is visually, and I worry about the dungeons in the zone starting to look really samey after a while. They look really good, but I can tell that after I've been in like a handful of these dungeons, especially maybe the random ones, it's gonna start to really all feel the same. And I wonder how the zones are gonna be different enough to really counteract that. Because when you're going for a purely dark aesthetic, there's only so much you can do with your zones. You don't get to have like a Stranglethorn Vale or a Mulgore type zone when you're going with a Diablo 4 aesthetic. Steven, that's a cool idea, man. I have no plans to do that kind of thing right now. Having to level with me is not a prize that anyone should desire. Being forced to level with me is not something somebody should want. I'm probably going to get your character killed. And you know, with the times that I play and how I play it, what I want is I'd love for you guys to be leveling alongside me, and I want to do dungeon content with you guys. I think that would be super cool. But I don't know if I could commit to a duo or trio right now. Yeah, Tactical Warrior, you can hover, yeah, you hover and then shift and you can see what we have equipped and quickly compare it to what's in the bag. The guy 797 says, hello nerds. Hello to you, fellow nerd. How are you? We are going to leash this guy. Oh, we are not going to leash this guy. He's going to stun us. I'm really not digging how some of these guys are level 20 and some of them are level 24. Maybe I just need to not be so far to the north. That would probably help us out. Let's head back down this way. And fight guys that are a little more reasonable. Level 21 is good, but we can find something better. What about level 20? There we go. Steve, good morning, man. Thanks for being here. Taxi Arcus asked, what is my point of view about pet battles? I have never pet battled in World of Warcraft. So I don't know if I have specific feelings about it. I think it's a cool feature for people who like that kind of thing. I love me some Pokemon back in the day, so I totally get like the impetus for enjoying that kind of gameplay. I just have never really engaged with it a lot in WoW. It seems like it would be fun. I mean, you have a Pokemon game built into World of Warcraft, so how can that not be cool? For people who like that, you know what I mean? Inventory is full. Yeah, that's not a surprise. Let's head back and vendor. Tactical Warrior, yeah, I'm bad at remembering to do that. I have it in my head that I'm like, I just want to get as much distance between me and the enemy as possible. And so I often try to just take the straight line, and I know that's going to open me up to back attacks and stuff. And I do need to move like more on a strafe, but I always think like if I just run straight away, maybe I'll just get far enough away that they don't hit me. It never works out like that, obviously. That's one of those things when I say things like I'm not a really great WoW player, it's because of habits like that. Sixes, yes, we are in the moist lands. Now I must ask you to never refer to it that way again. Yeah, thank you.
Looking for something specific? Have a good one. How are you? See you later.
Light be with you. For the Alliance.
Whitney Goomba took off a little while ago. He didn't really want to nap earlier. He came into my lap, he acted like he wanted to nap, and he really just wanted to cry at me. I think he wanted to go outside and play or go for a walk or something. I overslept today, and he didn't get his morning walk, so I've been a bad pet father.
Hi.
Jay Diamond, hello. Good morning. Thanks for being here.
Safe travels.
So, tangy clam meat. I can't use this to cook with. We need regular clam meat. So, I guess I'm going to sell those. Unless, I mean, there's probably a recipe for them somewhere. For now, I'm going to get them out of our inventory.
You got my attention.
Oh, so you talked about Goomba, and he must have heard me say his name because he came back. We'll see. There he is. He thinks he's gonna sleep there.
See you soon. What can I do for you?
Turkteen, you have a puppy, but he's 105 pounds? Yeah, this guy's never going to be more than 15 pounds, so... Thankfully, he's probably always going to fit in the lap, because I know he's going to always want to fit in the lap. It was the super realistic graphics, yeah.
Safe travels.
Jason, that's funny, man. I've heard that Great Danes are like that. I've heard that a lot of them, you know, they like to sleep, be on couches, they like to be in laps, and then obviously, like, they're enormous right from the get-go. But I've heard from people that that's kind of how they are. They think they're lap dogs. You know, but they're like 200 pounds. I'd love to have a Great Dane, but I worry because sometimes bigger breed dogs, they have health problems. And I just worry about that kind of stuff. They don't always, but it just, from the research I did back in the day, it seemed like the bigger the dog, like the more potential health risk there could be. A 5-pound Yorkie? He's probably not going to get much bigger than that, huh? That's it. That's 5 pounds full grown, isn't it? Who, man, I'm doing well. Thank you for being here. I appreciate you showing up. How in the world am I safely going to get to this item? Okay, we can probably pull this one on his own if we're super lucky. Oh, we got a buddy here. Maybe he'll pull one and maybe we can break this camp up together. He's gonna get more than one doing that. How did he come for us? Why did he come for us? I'm really confused right now about why that happened. I don't feel like that was right. But there's really not a lot I can do about it. So the mage pulled this guy, and the mage pulled ran over to us. Really, really sketchy. I don't know if I've experienced anything quite like that. He didn't even help. He can't be bothered to help us. As long as we don't get any more of his ads, then we should be okay. Yeah, see, we're still in combat. Oh, we're not in combat with him. Okay. That was incredibly weird. I did not like it. Oh, I do have it. Okay, right on. That's really cool. Okay, so we'll keep our Murloc fins and we'll need to buy some hot spices. I wish I could tag things in my inventory, like turn the outline of them a certain color so that I know for myself it's stuff that I don't want to sell. Like if I could like control click it and just outline it with a color, that would be super useful. Just so when I clear my inventory, I know, you know, don't sell this, don't sell that, and I can sell everything else. Alright, let's get in here before we get respawns. We need to pop the damaged crate open. Sixes, yeah, it's one less thing in the inventory, but then the alternative is like now I have to keep my Murloc fins, so really it's one more thing that we have to hold in the inventory. Tactical Warrior, that is the most adorable and absurd thing I've ever heard. You say red light and the dog would like brace itself? That's amazing. That's absolutely amazing. Ooh, we got some inscribed leather spaulders. 56 armor. What do we currently have? 52 armor. Yeah, we're gonna call that an upgrade. Oh, but we have mail shoulders I didn't notice. That's 115 armor. We're gonna equip those. Okay, and now we have a full camp of Murlocs, and we don't have a mage buddy anywhere around. I didn't see what happened to him, but he must have left the area. And I don't really know how we approach this solo. Because these guys are level 21, level 21. We're gonna pull at least 2. My big worry is that we're gonna get at least all 3. He probably had impetus to learn how to brace himself, because the alternative, I'm sure, was ending up on the floor of the car every time you step on the brake. Just sliding right off the seat. You did not teach a fish how to ring a bell. Stop it. You're killing me. Stop. Can fish be trained like that? I think you should have your fish examined. I don't think his brain is supposed to be that big. There's something going on with that fish, that's all. Oh, this is not looking good. Oh my god, we killed him before we aggroed anything? How did that happen? Okay, yeah, I don't know if we're going to be doing this quest unless another player comes along to help us clear this out. This is very, very treacherous, and I think the best thing I can do for now is to just get out of this area. Let's head back down to the south. We'll try to go after some of the crocolisk. It's not the fish, it's the dog dressed up as the fish to get treats, yeah. That makes more sense. Tactical warrior, it weirds me out, and it like, I don't know why I find it so disturbing that a fish could have that level of intelligence and self-thought and desire. It just like, it weirds me out. It's really cool, but it gives me an uneasy feeling, like maybe there's something about fish that I don't understand. There could be many, many things about how their brains work that apparently I just don't get. And that's a strange concept. It makes me glad that I don't like go hook fishing and like catch a bunch of fish, because then I just feel bad. You know, people say, oh, they can't feel it, they're fine. Do like catch and release is like, to me it's the worst, because okay, you're gonna catch and release the fish, so you just drive a hook through its mouth so you can rip the hook out and throw it back. But now if I have to contemplate that fish are smart enough to ring bells, then I have to think like we're basically torturing them anytime we fish and catch and release. If he's one of the smartest fish, that indicates there might be fish smarter than him, which is terrifying. I have an aversion to like things that live in the sea. But are all the bass ringing bells? Because it's the bell ringing that's the disturbing part. Oh, Tim, that's scary, man. Oh, I don't know. I think I could have lived my whole life without knowing that. There are well-documented carp that are smart enough to come when their name is called. Jesus. Oh, that's weird. That's like existential crisis level of strange to me. And I don't know why that's my brain's reaction to that information, but it is. If I called the fish by name and it came at me, I would probably run away terrified. Swim away terrified, whatever happens to be the case. So weird. The octopus, yeah, I know that the octopus are really, really smart, and that is kind of what sparked my aversion to deep sea life, is just coming into the knowledge of how smart octopuses were, and all the stuff they can do. You know, things like dolphins too, they talk to each other, they have communication and stuff, and I find all that stuff incredibly creepy. Because we kind of live with an idea that the animals on the planet are just these animals and that, you know, they're just meat basically, but that's obviously not the case. If a carp can learn its name, then I think we have things to consider about life that we don't currently consider. A crow will remember you your whole life if you were mean to it or if you were nice to it and feed it. Again, same thing. The bird brain is supposed to be really small, so, you know, in my mind, shouldn't be capable of that, but obviously is. Do I think the Megalodon exists? I think that anything could exist in the deeps. I don't know what's down there. And would they tell us if it did? I think there's probably more stuff in the bottoms of the ocean than we're ever going to find out. I don't know if I could become a full vegetarian, but I would at least like to accurately understand the intelligence of the animals I'm eating so I can be accountable for my own sins. And so I know exactly what's going on and where I'm at. That's kind of what I wish. Like, I'm probably never going to stop eating meat, but I would actually like to have an accounting of the self-awareness of the creatures that I'm eating so that at least I can be accountable to myself for what I've done. That way when somebody judges me for this stuff someday somewhere, I'm not going to be shocked when they're like, oh yeah, you know all those sentient life forms that you devoured? That was bad. Shouldn't have done that. You think there's a second layer of oceans under the first layer of crust? Interesting concept. Is that kind of like a hollow moon theory, but it's like a hollow ocean theory? I feel like because there's not as many people on today that the respawn rate is not as high as what we're used to. The oceans could be a never-ending. You know, we don't know a lot about the oceans. There are so many things we don't know a lot about. We think we know a lot about things, but ultimately, I think we are pretty blind as far as like how we exist in reality and the things that we understand about it to be true. Yeah, tactical warrior, that's a good point. There are lots of places where it seems like governing entities do not want you to be for some reason. Don't go here, don't look over there, please don't be here. No, but there's nothing to see here, it's just dangerous for you. We don't want anything bad to happen to you. Oh, okay, I believe that. Steven, unfortunately, we don't know if the universe ends or not. The universe could have ended innumerable numbers of times, and just through like entropy, expansion, and contraction, it could have been remade. We have no idea. And even speculating, even if we did know, we would be able to do nothing with that knowledge. That's the worst part, is even if we somehow like realized what the fabric of reality was really constructed of and how things were made, coming to that knowledge probably would not leave us in any position of power to do anything about it. Which just creates its own existential nightmare. It's like, here's the truth of the universe laid bare, but you're still just a human. Good luck with that. Good luck with humaning, now that you've peeled back layers of the onion and seen the secrets of the universe. HitGirl86, thank you for being here. I'm glad you're liking the streams. I'm really enjoying them as well. Much more than I thought I would. Yeah, I mean, if I was the government and there was like a civilization of secret squid living in the oceans, I probably wouldn't want people to know about that either. I'd probably just say, you know, let's keep this one on the down low. I don't think that people need to grapple with the fact that there are entire civilizations of sentient squids milling about on the ocean floor. Again, with that information, there's nothing we could do except then continue to exist in a state of existential terror. Do us a top one. Hello. Welcome to the stream. Thank you for being here. Yeah, there's all kinds of weird architecture from like ancient buildings and stuff, and they always try to explain away like how they could have done things, like how did they drill these perfect holes? How did they make these slabs so smooth and fit together perfectly without diamond tools or lasers? And then, you know, people will come up with reasons why. They'll show you how they could have done it. They'll say, well, with low tech they could have done it like this. Okay, sure, but did they do it like that? Do we know how they actually made these structures? We really don't know anything about it. Wixzy, I'm good, man. Thank you for being here. I hope you're doing well. Tim, we can make epic sitcoms with the knowledge. Yeah, with the knowledge, armed with the knowledge, we can make more media to consume. A lot of Netflix specials, probably. Monica, hello, good morning. Thank you for being here. Whoa, guys, we are just not finding a lot of crocolisk here. It's crazy. It's not like we're in a marsh or anything. Jason says we need a low-level night elf to run through here. That'll get the crocs out. Yeah, definitely. The best way to remove a stubborn stain, you ask? The best way to remove a stubborn stain is to get it early. Yeah, get to it quick. If a stain sets in, there's nothing you can do. Just throw the thing out, replace it. You gotta act fast. You gotta get a cold rag, and you gotta let it soak up the stain right away. Don't rub it. Don't rub it into the fabric. Or just cut it out. Just cut the stain out. If it's that stubborn, just excise it. Tim, I think you're right. Binging Netflix and stuff like that is definitely a way that we will deal with any existential crisis that comes out of anything. When you don't want to process something about reality, just binge watch some shows. Sixes, I'm a hot coffee drinker. I don't really drink iced coffee, and I don't drink coffee drinks. I just drink coffee with a little bit of whole milk in it. Even if it's 90 degrees outside, the joy of air conditioning is that I can be cold here and I can drink coffee all year round. Yeah, Wix, you're right. Yeah, escapism as a means to avoid difficulties and problems is a very bad... It's a coping mechanism for trauma, but it's not really a good one. Because it doesn't put you in a position to actually deal with things, and then you don't get any tougher by avoiding the hard shit. You know, if a race of crustaceans is rising from the ocean to terrorize mankind, that stuff's not gonna go away just because you binged Wednesday on Netflix. But that's probably what most people would do in any crisis scenario. Instead of what they should be doing in that situation, which is arming themselves with broadswords to combat the crustacean threat, and training with those weapons. That's obviously what we should do. AD, welcome, man. Thank you for being here. I appreciate you showing up. Do we give up on these crocolisks for now? Can we find them somewhere else? If I go along the road, maybe I'll have a better chance of finding them. At least we'll get to see like a different tree and a different piece of grass that way. That could be good. It's only 4 skins. I'd love to complete this one. That would be a lot of completed quests for one stream. It'd be a new record of quests completed on a stream. For me. You're right. Large hammers probably. We gotta crack the shells, right? See, I'm already thinking about this all wrong. They're gonna have like carapace armor, so we're gonna have to deal with that. It's probably gonna deflect most modern firearms. So that's gonna be a challenge. Tim, I do think that if we get taken over by anything, it will be a species of sentient crustaceans. And that's going to be incredibly difficult to deal with. Anything that has like just natural armor that's super tough and natural weapons built in. It's like if you're a weaponized thing. Humans are not weaponized things. We are squishy meat sacks. And we don't cope well with any kind of external trauma. Wicks, I didn't know they could regrow their claws, and I wish I didn't know that. How absolute... So you're telling me that it's an armored creature with weapons, and it can regenerate? How is that just not too overpowered to even exist? When are they gonna patch that out? When's the update come to fix crustaceans? Because I feel like they're OP. The best weapon proficiency for a paladin? I think it would depend on races, because some races have weapon specialties. Like here on the human, we have sword specialization, which increases our skill with swords by 5, and we also have mace specialization. I don't know if the dwarves have one or the other, or if maybe they have an axe specialization. But I would say check here for your racial abilities. Whitney, you want to know if I'll play the new Mortal Kombat game, but you're just trolling me, right? You don't really think I'm going to play the Mortal Kombat game. I played a ton of Mortal Kombat when I was a little boy. Of an age when a human being should not be watching people's spines be ripped out by Sub-Zero. Yeah, I played a lot of Mortal Kombat on the arcade machines. We'd go to the penny candy store, and they had the Mortal Kombat game in there, so while you were shopping for your morning candy before school starts, because that's what you need as a growing boy. You need Swedish fish and sour snacks and stuff before school. And so while we did that, we'd put our quarters up and we'd play Mortal Kombat. Day Gaming, I saw you in the chat from super late. I'm glad you were able to get some rest. Thanks for being here. When they make a Mortal Kombat MMO, then I'll check it out. We got all the Crocodile skins, and I didn't even notice. Let's go get this one turned in. Vitaly, thank you, man. Thank you for being here. I appreciate that. J Diamond Man might has been down like 90% of the time, I think. I've been really bad. The only negative impact I think that streaming has had on my gameplay so far is that I just forget to buff myself ever. I don't ever buff myself anymore. It's the one thing that I haven't been able to correct yet. And I haven't picked up an add-on yet. I need to. I'll pick up an add-on, then you guys can watch me struggle to configure it to do the exact thing that I want it to do and to do nothing else. And we'll see if we can get there with it. Raphael, that's a really good point. I did just kind of forget that we were riding Retribution Aura, and the 5 damage or whatever it's doing is probably not worth anything. Yeah, let's go back and get the armor, just because we are getting beat on quite a lot. And yeah, I don't think the 5 damage per hit is really helping us too much. That was a good call out. Alright, so from this point, I don't think that we're going to work on anything else here in the wetlands right now. I think the next step is that we're going to go into Ashenvale. I think we're going to check that out. I think it's going to be the next step. But it is going to be the thing that we do on the next stream. Because this stream is coming to an end. Because I'm hungry. And I need to eat, and I need more coffee, and I need all these human things. So, yeah. Thank you guys for being here. I really do appreciate it. And I've been having a great time. I hope you guys are enjoying the stream still. I can do the first Knoll quest. We might be able to do some stuff here, but I think it would be safer if we went into Ashenvale. Yeah, the quest in the middle of the wetlands from the Green Warden. Level 21 and level 21. Let's take a look. Let's check out a few things, shall we? If we look over here, we have level 19, level 18, Breadcrumb into Stone Talon, which could be really interesting. And then over here we have the Ancient Statuette. Yeah, I think we could head over here. There doesn't seem like there's a ton of stuff to do, but it is in a good level range for us. So yeah, I think that's what we'll do, guys. I am going to park it at the inn, and I'm going to end things here for now, and I will be back on later this afternoon. Probably around 1 o'clock or so, but I will put up I'll put up a scheduled stream on the channel, so if you are interested and you want to come back later, we will be here. And yeah, thank you guys again for showing up. It's really been a great couple of days. I'm having an amazing time, and without you guys, I would not be having an amazing time. I don't know what I would be doing, honestly, at this point, but I wouldn't be here having a blast. So thank you guys so much, and I hope to see you all later, and either way, take care of yourselves out there, and take care of each other, and we'll see you back here soon. Bye for now, guys.